Start over again. Hello, Omar. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Teacher Laura. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We have tried for a long time to do another interview to follow up the one that we did before a few years ago.
Yeah,
And we are
yeah.
finally getting together again. And this time, I don't want to do an academic interview. I want to do something personal. I want to ask you
Okay.
some questions about why you learn languages, how many you know, and why you like being a polyglot. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. So, let's start with the first question. Who are you and why, and where do you live?
Okay, my name is Omar and I live in Egypt. I'm 24 years old. I have a bachelor degree in administrations and information systems. I'm very passionate about learning languages. I started with learning English, and then I moved on to Spanish, and now, yeah, I learned German. I'm still learning it actually. I know a little bit of French and Portuguese, and I started to learn Russian. Yeah, nowadays.
And what's your mother tongue?
Arabic.
Right. So you forgot to list that one.
Yeah, yes.
So that's great. So, which language do you use the most?
English and German.
Mhm. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. English and German are actually a little bit related, aren't they?
Yeah, and Dutch is
Uh-huh.
also similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, German, but German is always tough. I mean, uh, it just never ends, and the grammar is complicated. The the vocabulary, the words are actually a lot. Yeah, it takes time to learn German, not an
Yeah.
easy language.
In some ways, it's simple spelling, but in other ways, it's just more complicated because they pile everything together in one word.
Yeah, correct. And like the
So,
grammar is different.
yeah.
Um, yeah, a bit
So, all
complicated,
right.
but I struggle with it. I keep learning. I learn it through certain pattern. I notice how they speak, and I figure out the pattern. So this is a basic way
Mhm.
to learn French.
Yeah, you need to get the structure of the language first. So, for example, English is subject, verb, object. So you say, I am watching TV. So first
Yeah,
is subject, then there's what's the verb? Watching. I am
watching.
watching TV. Um,
Uh,
and then in German, what is the structure? What's the pattern?
Most probably the same, like ich sehe TV oder ich schaue TV. But like in some other cases, like you say, I make money because I want to travel. No, in German you would say I make money because I travel want,
Ah, wow.
literally. Yeah.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
does kind of move places a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes you
Right.
just split the verb. You start it with you put it at the first of the sentence, and the other half of the verb you put it at the end of the sentence. This is German.
Okay. Yeah. I know that in some languages you put there's no subject, you just put it at the end of the sentence or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Also in Arabic, like you say the subject, and for example, you say the adjective immediately. Like you don't
Huh.
say I'm hungry. No, in Arabic you say I hungry. That explains itself.
I hungry?
In Arabic, yeah, it doesn't sound like logical to you. It doesn't make any
Uh-huh.
sense. But yeah, this is how it goes in Arabic.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was just talking about this kind of thing with somebody today, and I said, "Okay, when you want to say in English, sit down,
Yeah.
who's talking? There's no person that is talking in that sentence. If you say sit down, um, help me, or any other command, you don't have to say you because
That's
it's just,
imperative.
it's understood. Right. It's imperative and it's understood. It's a command. And
Yeah.
so the only other way you can do it where it doesn't have a subject is if you suggest something. So let's have lunch. Let's go to the mall,
Yeah.
and that is like a suggested thing. You want the other person to say, yes, I will do this with you. So you don't have to say let us, I guess, is the subject. So you're just asking them a question basically by saying a statement.
Yeah.
Let's do this together,
Yeah.
right? And so there's the two ways that don't really have a subject, and then the rest of them usually do. So it does depend on if it's a question too, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
So yeah, and that's one
Mhm.
thing English speakers have a hard time with is like how do you make a question and how do you use the past tense and all that. So tell
Yeah.
me something. What methods do you use to learn languages?
Basically, or mainly two methods. I count on knowledge at first. Like before I start speaking, I mean, I think of myself as just a little baby when I learn a new language. I'm just a little baby. Like I don't know anything. I have to
Right.
listen. But I count on knowledge first. Before I speak or listen, I need to
Mm-hmm.
understand what what do I listen to? What do
Right.
I say? What they say. So I start studying by understanding words, meaning. Let me just, summarize this. One of the best ways to learn words, vocabulary, just use the phrases you use every day in your daily life. Like, I want to go to sleep. Let me eat something. Hey, did you finish this? Like, the most phrases you use every single day, just translate them from your language to the language you're learning. This is knowledge, in my opinion. So I count on knowledge at first, learning vocabulary, understanding grammar, through whatever studying it, whether studying it or noticing the pattern, how people speak. Like we say, he does, she goes, she comes. So the pattern here that we add s to the verb in the simple present when we use she or he or it. So I count on knowledge first, pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar.
Yeah.
That's the first method. Yeah. Secondly, I start listening, like listening for hours. I mean, speech comes from listening, and the baby learns or speaks through listening. He listens first, or she listens first for years, and then they start by saying a word, phrase, and they go on. So, yeah, I count on knowledge and then practice listening and speaking.
So how long do you think the average person should listen before they speak? It depends on how much you want to learn and like what you're learning it for, right?
Yeah, it depends on how much do you listen per day? You listen like 3 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour. I mean, just keep it as a habit and don't give up. There are spurts and there is plateaus. Like suddenly you'll get the spurts, but you always have plateaus. So, I mean, it depends, but on average, we can say 3 to 6 months listening a lot, and then you will start to speak by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Before you listen, you need to understand what you listen to.
Right.
Okay, go ahead and listen. Yeah, that's fine. Listen, even if you don't understand, but then just learn vocabulary at the same time. So you increase your knowledge. Meanwhile, you listen, and then, oh yeah, I started to understand this a little bit because my knowledge is getting better, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I know there's two ways to learn a language. One is learning vocabulary, the words, maybe some verbs and other things, and that's how most people do it. They learn a list of words and a list of verbs, and then they see them in sentences. And that is the first way. The second way is to look at a sentence that you have no idea what it's saying, and then you
Yeah,
look up each individual word in context. So
that's a
if
good
I see
one.
a sentence, what languages do I learn currently? Okay, what is what mean? What does languages mean? What does do mean? I
Yeah,
learn currently. And then you pick out each one. And the more that you see it, the more you understand where's the verb, where's the noun, and how do I use this in a sentence? And so that's,
yes,
I think they call it top down or bottom up. And so if you want to learn all the words first, fine. If you want to learn sentences, um, and then pick out each word and get more familiar with the way the sentences are written, that's also a
sure.
valuable way.
Yeah. The second way is, in my opinion, is better. They learn phrases. I mean, learn words, but not individually, just in phrases, in a context, to be familiar with the language. That's how we learn grammar through the pattern. Yeah,
Yeah.
phrases or sentence, not just
Mhm.
individual. But yeah, you can learn like Adjectives, for example, you can learn
Mm-hmm.
them individually. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that if you learn a noun, you should learn what adjectives go with that noun.
Correct.
So, if I can. So, the last question is, what are the best ways to improve speaking and listening beyond what we've talked about, the basics? How do you
Okay.
learn? What platforms, methods, things like that?
Yeah. Okay. I will tell you about methods. Is when it comes to speaking, there is a very good method that you can like make a certain presentation. Like maybe, let me give you an example. I divide the language, A1, A2, B1, B2. There's C1, C2, but that's more advanced. Well, A1, A2, B1, B2. I ask, for example, ChatGPT to give me 25 topics on each level. A1 25, A2 25, B2 25, B1 25. So each presentation, like you talk about yourself, best friend, favorite food, you talk about your school. So each topic that has certain words, so train yourself onto that. Try to study the new vocabulary, train yourself, and then if you learn them, you can at first just memorize them, but then try to practice them so they come naturally. So you have the language in 100 topics, for example. You talk about many different topics using many different vocabulary, and this is the fluency. This is my best advice or the method I use
Mm-hmm.
to improve
I
speaking.
think you're right. I mean, the best way to do it is to learn how to listen to the native speaker speak, and you hear the pacing, you hear the fluency in their voice. You don't hear this going like this, you hear the fluency. They're like, it's like, especially with English, there's music to it. So if you're able to get the fluency like you have with English, then people are going to understand you better. And also the ways that we use idioms and contractions and all that stuff
Expressions.
with English. But at first, if you have to say, I had turkey for dinner. Of course, you're going to start that way. But then later on, you'll
Yeah.
be able to describe the turkey. What does it taste like? Did I make it in my kitchen? And you just kind of pull that sentence apart and add more words. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to listen to other people talking about it. So use things like Youglish and maybe join a community. And you
Got
can
it.
listen to people talk and then you can answer them. So,
Yeah.
any other tips with us before we wrap up?
Yeah. I mean, also, yeah, you could do shadowing. There is shadowing. There is talk to people. Just start by asking them questions. You don't have to speak. Just ask them questions and listen to their answers. Learn from them. Try like it's just like a training. Like you go to the gym to improve your body. So you want to improve your brain. You want to improve like I want to think in English. I don't want to think,
Hmm.
for example, in Arabic, my native language. So it's just a train. I mean, you will like be tired a little bit, but just take it a step by step. Don't ever give up, you know.
Yeah.
And lastly, I recommend your community. It's very helpful.
Okay. Yes, you just joined it. And so I'm glad to see that you're there. I'll put the link in the bottom here, NASIO Laurel's Learning Lab, and we have over 400 people in the community. And I think it's going to be great if everybody posts and everybody comments. We'll have a thriving community and people will be learning. And there's going to be events and other things there that you can join. Everybody can join for free and for paid. So thank
Yeah,
you, Liam,
great.
for interviewing with me. And it was really a pleasure to talk to you again.
All right. Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone. Hope we help them by giving advices or
Yes,
advice. As
advice. That's right.
yeah,
Thank you. Bye
you're
bye.
welcome. Bye bye.